Why religion became a business. Religious institutions have always needed resources. Temples, priests, and pilgrimages cost money, and this is nothing new. But several forces have pushed some corners of religious life towards something that looks more like commerce than faith. 1. Institutional survival pressures. Churches, mosques, and temples have buildings to maintain, staff to pay, and programs to run. Once an institution depends on continuous income, its incentives can quietly shift from what does this community need spiritually to what keeps donations coming in. 2. The rise of religious media and celebrity. Radio and television gave preachers access to mass audiences in the 20th century, and this created a new economic model. Religious content is broadcast product, competing for attention and ad-like revenue, book deals, merchandise, conference tickets. Sociologists have pointed to this shift as a turning point where charisma and production value could outcompete theological substance. 3. The prosperity gospel and consumer religion. Some movements explicitly reframed faith as a transaction. Give money, receive blessings, which mirrors marketplace logic more than traditional religious teaching about sacrifice or humility. Max Weber's older thesis about the Protestant work ethic, merging religious virtue with economic success, is sometimes cited as an intellectual ancestor of this, though prosperity theology took it much further. 4. Competition in a pluralistic marketplace. When people can freely choose among many congregations or none at all, religious organizations start behaving like competitors for market share, investing in branding, entertainment-style services, and growth metrics because attendance and giving are how they survive. 5. Tax and legal structures. In many countries, religious organizations enjoy tax-exempt status with limited oversight, which has occasionally been exploited by leaders more interested in personal enrichment than ministry. It's worth saying clearly, this is not universal. Most religious communities, small congregations, monasteries, mosques, synagogues, temples, operate on shoestring budgets and volunteer labor, nowhere near the commercialized model. The religion as business critique tends to apply most sharply to a visible minority. Televangelism, some megachurches, certain guru-led movements, and similar high-profile cases. What genuine faith is said to look like. Here there's real disagreement. This is ultimately a theological and philosophical question, not a factual one, so different traditions and thinkers answer it differently. Many religious traditions themselves draw a sharp internal distinction between authentic devotion and empty ritual or commerce. Jewish and Christian scriptures include prophetic critiques of hollow sacrifice. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. The Gospel's account of Jesus overturning tables in the temple is frequently invoked as an early rebuke of religious commercialization. Islamic teaching emphasizes sincerity, ikhlas, that an act's spiritual value depends on inward intention, not outward display. Buddhist teaching often centers non-attachment, including detachment from status, wealth, and ego, arguably in direct tension with an institution optimizing for growth and revenue. Common threads across traditions in descriptions of genuine faith tend to include internal transformation over external performance, humility over spectacle, service to others over self-enrichment, and consistency between private life and public claims. Sociologists of religion, rather than theologians, tend to describe genuine religious commitment in more neutral, observable terms. Costly signaling that isn't easily faked, communal accountability, and practices sustained even when there's no audience or reward. Secular philosophers and critics sometimes push back on the whole framing, arguing that authenticity is itself a modern, individualist lens that doesn't map cleanly onto older, more communal or ritual-centered religious life. So the sincere/commercial dichotomy may say as much about contemporary values as about religion itself. A fair note on disagreement. Whether any particular movement counts as genuine or commercialized is often contested by insiders and outsiders alike, and reasonable people, including deeply religious people, land in very different places on where legitimate fundraising ends and exploitation begins. I'd rather lay out these perspectives than tell you which congregation or leader falls on which side of that line.